the visualization technique is aimed at changing your self-image, because I kind of wanted to mention a practical thing that people can do here if they're listening and thinking, oh, my self-image is quite bad. Essentially, what you do in order to visualize success. Now, I'm not going to be some random spiritual guy on the internet talking about law of attraction and all of that. This actually really is helpful. It's changing my life. So it's a 3-part exercise that you do. I suggest split it up into 6 minutes. So you got 3 2-minute segments. Now, in the first part, you want to focus on getting yourself relaxed in the same way as a hypnotist would relax their participant to make their mind more suggestible on stage. You want to make yourself more suggestible as well. So you lay down, set the timer for 2 minutes, and you imagine that you've got huge concrete blocks on your hands and your legs, and you're sinking into the surface that you're laying in. And then imagine concrete all over your body, and you're really sinking in, and that will start to make you feel relaxed. In the second part, you then imagine a problem that you're currently dealing with, or you imagine the success that you want to achieve, or that you feel you are destined for. And you imagine, still with your eyes closed for the next 10 minutes, that you wake up tomorrow and that problem is solved all of a sudden, unbeknownst to you, or that you have achieved that success. So in this part, it's important to imagine this in as much detail as you possibly can. So for example, for you, right? Let's say you want to get this podcast to like a really high level. You imagine yourself, you wake up tomorrow in the visualization, you go into your office. What does your podcast studio look like? What are you wearing? What hairstyle have you got that day? Who's around you? Have you got a coffee? What's the brand of the laptop that you're about to open? How do you open the laptop? And then you go on, you check your Spotify or whatever you're assessing your analytics on, and you see the exact number of followers that you have, or the exact number of reviews that you have, or your revenue, for example. And then, last part, I'll round this up. Your brain probably won't believe that is possible yet, because you might have a negative self-image about yourself. So in the last part, for the next 2 minutes, you then reflect over the last few days about things that you've done that you're proud of, or that you're grateful for. Maybe today you woke up on time, to do this podcast, or yesterday you ate a nutritious meal, or you really listened to someone. And that will start to feed back into part 2, because it will give you the positive feelings of, oh, I can actually do this, I can achieve it. Do that for 6 minutes a day, and I think it will really change your life. So that's the visualization technique.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we hear a lot about this like law of attraction stuff. And like I've completely forgot about that visualization technique. I'm going to start doing that, Lewis. It's so interesting. We look at this law of attraction stuff and we think, oh, it's just a bunch of woo-woo, like what's going on there? Like you're just imagining things into reality. But if you really look at like the subconscious, like it can't tell the difference between what's actually happening and what you're visualizing. Like it believes it's truth. So if you can really sit there and get your mind still, and you can like attach to the emotions of your experience in something, and you can sit in that thing, like your mind is going to believe that you're already achieving that, or that is something that you have achieved. And then your perception of yourself is going to act in accordance with that image. So you're kind of like acting out this future, like you're deluding yourself to this imaginary future, and then your mind and your self-image is like catching up to that image, or that goal that you've got, and it's kind of like you're bringing the future into you. It's a really interesting way of looking at it.
Nice. I'm glad you mentioned woo-woo, because what I always preface is I always have a distrust for anyone who's like, do this visualization technique. They're on a video, they're meditating, they got long purple curly hair, and they're like, oh, the law of attraction will solve your problems. I always distrust it. So I think this is quite an actionable visualization technique that people can do. So